This is the 174th episode of the ETX ROCKS Show featuring Kensie Coppin.
This is Boston Chris with another great episode of the ETX ROCKS Show.
Louise here.
Descript.
Featuring all genres and styles of entertainment.
And coming to ETX ROCKS.
Let's hear it from Louise, please.
From the unheralded and unheard to the legends and beyond.
Out of the box with ETX ROCKS.
It's awesome.
We keep them coming.
$5, that's pocket change.
Well, hey, y'all, this is Haley McDaniel. Are y'all ready for this?
ETX ROCKS Show is the greatest show of all time, okay?
We are ETX ROCKS.
The ETX ROCKS Show is the best show of all time, say? The other shows, you're good, you're real good. But as long as we're around, you'll be second best, say?
Cut!
Howdy folks, this is Aaron Watson. Thank you for tuning in to the ETX ROCKS Show.
Hey guys, Boston Chris here, and welcome to the 174th episode of the ETX ROCKS Show. So this week's guest is one of my all-time favorite voices in country music. Kensie Coppin has been around for a few years here in the Texas country scene, and she's just one of my favorite country voices. Kind of reminds me of like old-time country Tammy Wynette, Patsy Cline, stuff like that. And we're really excited that she has filmed a video for us of her performing recently at a gig, and we're going to include that video right now. It's a song called Drinking Songs, and it's kind of like an ode to, traditional country, how traditional country always had drinking songs and stuff like that. And now that bro country's around, it's kind of, not talking about some of those old time topics that they talked about in country music. Then later on, after my conversation with Kensie at the end of the episode, we are featuring her next single, which is called Lie to Me. It'll be at the very end of this episode. So make sure you tune in until the end and check out Lie to Me. And if you like the song, which I think you will, it's really cool. Make sure you're requesting that song to all your local radio stations out there. And let's help Kensie get that song to the top of the charts. As I said earlier, this video coming up right now is called Drinking Songs. Y'all check it out right here. This is Kensie Coppin.
Well, it's the weekend about 9:30. Put my boots on, time to get party on. Into the tavern, pour some solo sipping. Pick my favorite spoon out. Need singing songs. Once we could all sing along. Getting wild on a Saturday night. Go home some summer afternoon. What happened to the lonely tune of the steel guitar? Fiddle too. Wanna hear me some Haggard and some Jones. So what happened to the drinking songs? You wanna hear me some Willie and George Jones. So what happened to the drinking song?
Hi, we're the Calamity Janes. Thank you for tuning in to the ETX ROCKS Show.
Hey guys, Boston Chris here with another great episode of the ETX ROCKS Show, and we are really, really excited about our guest this week. Her name is Kensie Coppin, and if you're a Texas country music fan or a country music fan in general, this is a huge treat for y'all. Kensie is one of those, for me, honestly, she is probably my favorite country music artist from the state of Texas. When you hear Kensie's voice, it's almost like if you combine Patsy Cline and Tammy Wynette, and then kind of mixed in a little bit of '90s country and stuck her in the middle of 2017 in Texas. That's what you get, I think. So, welcome to the ETX ROCKS Show, Miss Kensie Coppin.
Thank you so much, and thanks to everyone that's listening. That was an incredible intro. Wow.
It's very true, though. I mean, your influences are so apparent when you hear your voice and the way you're doing stuff with your music. So, are some of your influences, are they Patsy and Tammy?
Oh, absolutely. And just to here's a list: George Strait, Miranda Lambert, Casey Musgraves. But those are incredible references as to my sound. I actually, when I recorded the EP, I wanted it to sound 80s, 90s, traditional country.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you were able to capture that, because that was my goal.
The 90s country it was kind of revolutionary for me. That's when I grew up. I'm probably a little bit older than you are, but I grew up in the 90s, graduated in the 90s. And really, there were so many vital female stars from that era of country music. I mean, I could go on forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
From Shania
Martina,
Twain, Martina,
Leanne.
Trisha. There's so many.
Yes.
And it never really made sense to me as a music fan why, people got away from that sound.
Right. Why it dwindled.
Right. So it's really cool, especially here in Texas. There's so many different artists that are kind of bringing that back. So as a fan, it's really neat to listen to. And you pretty much write all your own stuff too, right?
I do, most of it. I'm trying to get into, helping the songwriters out and giving back to that community. Just, recording other people's songs.
Right.
But for now, yeah. I write all my stuff, and I've been doing it for about 2 years, so.
And reading a little bit about you online, it does not surprise me. You've been doing this since 8 years old. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
That's
so
incredible.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's a long journey. It's been a long journey, but since I was 6, I've been performing. I got on my first stage when I was in kindergarten, and it was for my kindergarten talent show.
Wow.
And I showed up in a countrified skirt and and a nice white blouse and red boots, and I had a little Leanne Rimes Shania Twain headset. And I got singing to that, and I was so nervous. I was just twiddling my my skirt in between my fingers, and I wasn't moving at all, but I was hooked at that point, you know.
Yeah.
So a couple years went by, and I had continued to yodel for people, which was my thing, my party trick. I taught myself how to yodel when I was 5. So
you're probably doing a lot of Patsy
yodel.
Montana then, huh?
Yeah. I spent a lot of time in the women's restroom because women would like see me in restaurants and stuff and grab me and be like, "Please yodel for me," or "Please sing for me." So
no, that's not weird at all.
Yeah, not weird at all. I know. It was very awkward, but when I was about 8 years old, I started singing on stage with bands, and specifically Ace in the Hole Band, which is George Strait's band,
Wow.
and Two Tons of Steel. Yeah, so you know, at an early age, I got to experience some really cool things, and really get to know what a professional band sounds like, what professional musicians are like, and
Right.
what artists are like, you know.
Yeah.
From the nitty gritty. So I legitimately grew up in a honky tonk, and I have no shame in saying that. I am so proud to have grown up in a Texas honky tonk.
And that's okay. That's absolutely okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you grow up a little bit to the age of 13, and your folks just up and y'all moved to Nashville to follow this dream of yours. Man, what kind of support is that from your folks? That's incredible.
It is incredible. They have been nothing but supportive from day one, and that's kind of what, you know, when I was 8 years old, I went to them and I said, I need to do this. I'm ready to do this. I need to sing for people, and they took me seriously, and they took me wherever they could. And you know, that really built such a foundation for being responsible for my art, being responsible for my music, and other people's music, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you're going to open for someone or play with someone, you are basically representing that person and being a, you know, I don't know, like an example for the next artist. So I learned that at a very early age with opening and playing with these big artists and playing on these big stages and things like that.
Yeah, because I mean, you played with, I mean, pretty much all the Texas legends, you know, William Clark Green and Josh Abbott and all of these guys. And I mean, let's be honest, you probably won't say this because you're very humble, but you belong up there with them for sure.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
That's probably why they're inviting you.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, I'm doing my absolute best in this Texas scene. None of it is easy, no matter what scene it is. No matter.
And it's even harder for a female. You know, I mean, it's unfortunate, but hopefully it's changing a little bit here. It seems like it is.
So yeah, I think so. I mean, it's the times are. It's about that time for females to kind of recycle. You know what I mean?
Right.
It went through a lull, but you know, with the country music scene and country music business, really any music business, things are going to just wax and wane, and females, of course, are always going to kind of have the underhand, but that's okay. You know, I mean, that just makes us tougher, makes it easier to bite down and say, all right, well, I'm going to do it. You say I can't do it, I'm going to do it.
It shouldn't be harder, though. It should be the same. And, you know, here in the state of Texas, we have a lot of listeners outside the state. But, you know, just to let you all know out there, if you're listening, here in the state of Texas, we have probably the best female country singers on the planet. I mean, there's so many.
I agree.
So much talent here in the state of Texas. And Kensie is just one of, you know, dozens, really. And it hurts me as someone who's not only trying to help an artist, but also as a fan that, you know, we have a top 100 chart, and at any given time it might be 15 females on it. And it really should be more than that, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think at the same time, though, in a way, it's, you know, a lot of the male singers down here have been doing this for so many years, you know, that they've kind of carved out their own path, if you will. And, you know, a lot of the female singers down here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good point as well. You know, and a lot of female singers down here kind of leave Texas behind pretty quickly, which is unfortunate as well because, you know, there's so many of y'all here. There's you and Bree and Adrienne Johnston, Sarah Hobbs.
Yeah.
Gosh, the Calamity Janes are amazing.
Oh, I know. I love them. They're my girls.
Yeah. And, you know, we talked about you a little bit on the air as well.
Oh, that's so nice.
All right. So
they're my favorite. I love them to
yeah,
death. They really
harmony.
work their tails off.
And their harmony is just ridiculous. So good.
Oh, I know. Those sister harmonies, though.
Yeah, I know. It's not fair. So you were out in Nashville for a pretty long time, about 6 years, right?
Yes. So, going back to your question, my parents moved me there when I was 13 because I had sang in the Grand Ole Opry for 2 years in a row. And
wow.
The people that we met and just the things that we were involved in, it was very blatant to us that we needed to be in it, you know. They wanted me to grow up around the business, and luckily my siblings were in college and they had jobs that were able to transfer, so we were able to go ahead with that, and it was probably the best thing that could have happened to me in my life. I learned how to play guitar. I learned how to write songs. I learned how the business works and how to network and what not to say, that is extremely important. It was 6 years. I moved away when I was 19 back to Texas, but I moved there when I was 13, and it was such an incredible experience.
What motivated the return to Texas?
Well, there was a big shift in the sound that was coming out of Nashville.
Yep.
I think that we probably all know what that is.
Yep.
But I got told, by my mentors, because I got really close to being signed when I was 17. And I was really put down whenever I wasn't. Obviously, I'm a 17-year-old, rejection.
Yeah, right.
No, slam, door slammed in your face, whatever. But my mentors told me, there's the shift that's happening in Nashville. There's not much room for you as far as a traditional country music act,
right?
Especially a female. So they said, good things are happening in Texas. Why don't you go back there, find yourself, find your roots, find your artistry, and come back. And so I took that. I did get into Belmont University, and I was going to go there, but it didn't end up happening. So I decided to move back to Texas, and it was a great decision as well. I mean, I ended up meeting so many people in the Texas industry that taught me completely different things than I learned in Nashville, and it's been really great because I feel like I've got this well-rounded perspective on both scenes. And
yeah, I would personally like to thank whoever it was that gave you that advice.
Dale Dodson.
There you go,
Mr. Dale Dodson. He is the man.
Well, he's saved us some great music, that's for sure. Because I was going to ask you, being in Nashville for as long as you were, it kind of opened my eyes because I didn't see that edge on your music at all. So it sounds to me like you got out of there before any of that could really seep into your style.
Well, and even if I had stayed there, I don't think it would have influenced my style at all because I have such a strong belief in country music, traditional classic country music that we grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
I have such a belief in it staying true and staying real, that even if I had stayed, none of that would have influenced me. I mean, growing up, I'm not going to lie, I was in the midst of the Taylor Swift era.
Yeah.
And I was living in Nashville during this era.
Wow.
And it was extremely frustrating.
I can imagine.
I don't usually talk about that, but it was very frustrating because I had this vision on country music and how I wanted it to thrive and build back up, and on this other hand, it was being destroyed. I'm not I'm not going to skate around it. The sound was being destroyed.
Is being destroyed every day.
Yes. And it was heartbreaking for me, and I took it very personally. And so when I got the advice to go back to Texas and stuff, I was like, yeah, hell yeah. I'm going to go back. I want to, tear this up. I don't want to give up the traditional sound. I don't want to have to conform. And nobody in Nashville was trying to make me conform, which was very, very good that they weren't trying to change my sound. They were just like, look, it's going to come back around. And just come back when it does. So yeah, that was my experience in Nashville, and then coming back, William Clark Green, yeah, he gave me a hand up. He helped me up, from kind of the depths of being down for a little bit after I came back from Nashville and trying to find my way and all that. He helped me out quite a bit, and he just got me back in front of an audience, got me back on stage, and it lit that fire again. And since then I feel like I've been, balls to the wall. I can't stop.
And that's a good thing. And I've heard that, WCG has done that for a lot of artists. He's kind of turning into almost like the godfather of Texas country. He's that hand up for a lot of artists, and it's just amazing to see somebody go out of their way to support a fellow artist.
Absolutely.
So your first EP, I think, was released in was it last year, 2016 or 2015?
It was 2016,
right?
And it was I believe it was January.
So this is a long time coming for an artist that started at 6. And this album, I think it's 6 songs, or is it 5 songs?
It's 6 songs.
Yeah. And guys out there, if you're gonna pick up one country album this year, it's this one.
Thank you.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you go from one song to the next. And personally, if I was a songwriter, which I'm not, mind you, but if I was, I would want people to feel something from my songs. There would have to be an emotion from each song. Otherwise, the song kind of misses the mark, I think. And with these 6 songs, you cannot go from one to the other without feeling something. And that's the way country music is supposed to be. So I would love to hear, from your perspective, this being a debut project, after, probably 15 years of performing and going through Nashville and the ups and downs of that, and coming back to Texas and the ups and downs and that. Finally, you're in the studio. So tell me about, number one, the patience that you had to kind of endure, but also the finished product, kind of the little nuances that you have to have in these albums.
Well, first of all, thank you for that compliment. That's incredible. That's exactly what I wanted to capture. But the process was very interesting. When I brought it to the producer, well, I actually produced it with Sam Seifert in Austin, and he had told me, I don't know if people are gonna get this in Texas music. I don't know if this is gonna succeed. I just want to be forward with you. This is the trend, and I don't know if this is going to work, because you want to model it after 80s, 90s country, and very, just soulful country. So we don't know how it's going to pan out. And I said, you know what? I have all the faith in the world that people are going to gravitate toward this sound, because they have before, and people miss the sound. So we hired the absolute best players in Texas country music, and honestly, in country music. The bass player was Kevin Smith, who plays for Willie Nelson. So that was really cool. But when we went in, it was one day of tracking. It was 5 songs of tracking that day, and we did an extra song later on, but 5 songs that day, and it was the coolest thing I've ever done, I swear. First of all, watching my songs be brought to life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and second of all, being able to do it in a live, situation with players in the same room and then
Right.
me in a vocal booth, and it was magical. Honestly, the songs came to life better than I expected them to, and I told them straight up, don't be afraid to be too country. There's nothing too country. There's no such thing.
Yeah,
So,
there isn't no such thing as that.
yeah. So, with the deep grand piano and the steel and the fiddle and the rhythm section and all that, it just came out exactly how I wanted it to. And it's been 2 years actually. Yesterday was marked 2 years that we went in and recorded the 5 songs. So
wow,
that's pretty cool. But
what was the strategy in having the grand piano in there? I know that's something that's kind of gone by the wayside as well, and it's awesome to hear it in your songs.
Yeah, well, that's a huge staple in traditional classic country music. Every song that you hear that's classic it has that deep grand piano.
Yeah.
But one of my biggest influences is Ronnie Millsap.
Wow. Okay.
And he's all piano.
Right.
And I mean, some people don't know this, but he's blind, and he is a lot like a country Stevie Wonder, but he isn't completely 100% traditional country.
Yeah.
I just love that sound in country music. But just like George Strait, I mean, he's my idol, number one, and all of his songs have that deep grand piano. And like I said, I grew up singing with the Ace and the Hole Band, and Ronnie Huckabee is his piano player, and I just really related to that sound. I learned how to play piano when I was young, and Ronnie has always been so amazing to me. So that has some impact on it as well. But if you listen to an old school country song, you're most likely going to hear some really cool piano, deep grand piano or whatever. So that's where that came from.
Now, we've been known to say badass on the show before. It's all good.
Okay, good. good.
No, but it's really apparent though. I mean, like if you're a country music fan like I am, and I mean, even in Texas, within the genre, there's so many different subgenres of country music in Texas.
Yes.
There's red dirt, and there's Texas Americana and soul, and
right.
some other stuff that kind of borders on Southern rock. And then you have that real heavy traditional sound that a few folks are doing. But then there's you kind of, you listen to your stuff, and you can't miss the fiddle or the steel player
right.
or the
right.
piano, because it's almost like you're making an effort to shine a light on it within the music.
Yes. Absolutely.
And a lot of musicians they put it in there, but they're almost trying to
timid.
Yeah, exactly. It's
right.
like it's almost like they feel like they have to put it in there, but we're going to make it sound so that you can barely hear it or whatever. So that's something you notice immediately with Kensie Coppin stuff is boom, here it is. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, I'm not for you.
Right. Exactly. Thank you for saying that. I did a few reviews on my TuneCore account, and that was really refreshing. Was people were reviewing it that don't like country music whatsoever.
Right.
But they were saying, that she is traditional. She still brings back the old school sound that I grew up on. And I would sit here and listen to it because I grew up on it. And I want to bring that back. I'm feel so strongly about bringing that back because it's been absent for a little bit too long at this point.
Yeah. It's awesome. Like I said, with all the different sub-styles in Texas, it's cool to see somebody. Who was it? I think it was Aaron Watson that said to me, there's two ways to look at it. You can either be a country artist from Texas or a Texas country artist. And
right.
For me, Kensie Coppin is a country artist from Texas. I don't think you fit within anything that's actually happening here, and hopefully that'll get you a leg up.
I hope so. I mean, that's the big risk going in, and that's been the risk for the past couple of years is people are a little bit hesitant to accept my sound because it's not the red dirt Texas country sound. But if you think about the Outlaws and the Highwaymen and George Strait and Willie Nelson, I mean, I'm just trying to go back to the roots. So
yeah,
it's good to be known as a country artist from Texas. Hopefully someday I can be considered both because I love both scenes so much, and I love all of the music so much. It's so different.
Exactly, it really is. I mean,
it is.
I mean, you can't look at the charts here without seeing. I mean, it's ridiculous how different the folks are on there, and
right.
And you've had a lot of real good success with Texas radio as well. So clearly people are digging your stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm glad that people are grabbing onto it. Obviously it's a fear when you put it out, like people aren't gonna get me.
I can imagine.
But yeah, it's been really good. I'm about to release my second single, "Lie to Me," off of my EP, and that should be good, hopefully.
What was the name of the first single?
"You Still Need Me," featuring William Clark Green.
That song is, oh my God. Holy cow, that song. I like, and you wrote that many, many years before even meeting William Clark Green, right?
I did. I wrote that when I was about 18 in Nashville with Greg Bates.
Right.
He's a great artist as well. But
Will is perfect for that song. Oh my gosh, like y'all's voices are ridiculously in tune in that song.
Well, and it was really cool because I didn't think he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to do it due to his scheduling, but I was in Austin. I was living in Austin at the time, and I said, "Hey, you've got a show at Nettie Brown. Why don't you hop on over to the studio?" And he came over, did it in an hour, and hung out with us, and I just thought that was really generous of him.
Yeah.
Really, really nice of him. First of all, before a big show, and second of all, just to an unknown artist. So
yeah,
that was really nice of him.
And if you guys are just tuning in, we're talking about her debut single, which was called "You Still Need Me." It was Kensie Coppin and William Clark Green. One of probably the best duets I've heard in a long, long time.
Thank you.
And we're also talking about her upcoming single that she's going to release called "Lie to Me." I was hoping it would be "Rain," but "Lie to Me" is really good too.
Well, I was trying to pick the best one for everyone's favorite, but it's hard. It's so hard.
Yeah. Do you think are you afraid that people will be turned off by "Rain" because it's a ballad?
Well, because it's a ballad, number one, and because it is the most country song on the album.
Yeah.
And I just getting feedback from DJs and artists and fans and things like that. I just went with "Lie to Me" because it actually was the favorite, but "Rain" came close to that, big close to that. But if I hadn't released, such a big ballad for my first single,
one,
I probably would have done it. And I love that song so much. I wouldn't be surprised if later down the road I put it on another album.
Well, I'm hoping not to hear "Rain" on the radio someday because, like you said, this song is as country as you can possibly get.
Oh yeah, as country as it gets.
Yeah, and this is the song that really gave me like the Patsy Cline vibe with your voice.
Yeah.
Your voice is so rich in that song. I don't know really another word to describe it. Maybe pure.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's got that Patsy Cline vibe in 2017. I know back in the late 60s, there was a lot of people out there that were trying to copy that Patsy Cline sound, and then it kind of tapered off. So to hear that now in the 21st century is just amazing. Now, mind you, I'm 40 years old, so I wasn't around when Patsy was around, but
that's a really cool perspective, though. Because I've loved Patsy since I was little girl. I've been singing her songs forever, and when I wrote that with Dale, that's kind of what we were going for.
Really?
Patsy sound, that, super, super deep, dark, like just grab you in the feels.
Yeah, kind of that country wail.
Right.
Yeah.
It. And, that song it just fits my range really well. And, I hopefully I'll be able to write more songs like that. I mean, I think I will. I've actually thought about it, how traditional that song is, and how many more songs I want to be like that,
Yeah. It's a good one. Do you have plans on a full album anytime soon?
I do. That's going. We're probably going to get in the studio. I would probably say about November.
Okay.
Hopefully before that. But we're going to be doing some other side projects and things like that. So, keep an ear out. But we'll have the single out. And yes, I'm doing a full album. I've got new material as well as old material that I want to get on recording and all that. So
awesome.
That's in the works.
That's really, really exciting. Very cool.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
All right, so if you've ever watched an episode of the ETX ROCKS Show before, you know that we like to play a game on this show. We like to talk to the artists talk about stories behind the music and the creativity and all of that, but we also like to have a little fun with our guests. So we're going to play a game with Kensie Coppin. I think we're going to play What the Heck today.
Okay.
I'll explain to you. You have no idea what's going on. I haven't told you beforehand that this was happening.
Right.
So basically, this is going to be 10 questions that are just ridiculous questions. They're all PG, so don't worry about that. And I just want you to tell me the first thing that pops into your brain. I don't want you to think about it. Just as soon as I ask the question, you give me whatever pops into your brain. You ready?
Yep.
All right, so this is What the Heck with Kensie Coppin. All right, number 1. What do you think cats dream about?
Toilets.
Toilets, okay, interesting. All right, number 2. How annoying do you find baby pictures on social media?
6.
A 6 out of 10?
Yeah.
I'm there with you, definitely. Like, people just need to stop. All right,
Yeah, there's a point. There's for sure a point.
Yeah. It's like, don't do it. I mean, why?
Like, just not this one. Just skip 2 days,
Right,
Maybe even a week. Just
take a week off. Yeah, go to Cancun or something, make new memories. All right, number 3. How violently do you have to fight the urge to scream when you hear a taco truck coming?
A taco truck?
Yeah, like an ice cream truck, but with mariachi music.
Oh, I'd probably give that a 10 out of 10 as far as me having to scream, because that would be amazing if a taco truck drove by my street right now. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. All right, so number 4. If Donald Duck doesn't wear pants, now Donald Duck never wears pants, right? So
who?
Donald Duck.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, he never wears pants, at least not that I've seen. So why does he wrap himself in a towel after a shower?
Because his tail is dripping.
Okay.
I have no idea.
That's awesome. His tail is dripping.
His tail's wet.
All right, number 5. Okay, if someone gave you an elephant and you're not allowed to sell it or give it away, what would you do with it?
I'll keep it.
What would you do with it, though? Obviously, you're going to keep it.
I would set it free.
Would you?
In the jungle or whatever it would go. Africa.
Wow, you'd need a lot of money for, shipping and handling for that.
Well, I don't care. It has to be set free. It's an elephant.
Well, just set it free in, Amarillo or something like that.
I probably do, actually. It's kind of like, kind of the same weather. I don't know. I have no idea what the weather is like.
So, guys, I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in to another great episode of the ETX ROCKS Show. This one was really a little bit hard for me because I do get very nervous when I'm talking to somebody who I respect a lot within traditional country music. And Kensie I've been a huge fan of Kensie's for a long time just because of her sound and how important it is to her to keep the traditional sound in country music alive. You have a lot of my respect, Kensie, and I appreciate that very much.
Thank you so much. You're incredible. I'm so glad I got to talk to you today.
No problem. I want to thank you also for coming on to the show for the first time. Hopefully we can do this more often. And
yes, please.
Yeah, no problem. And again, you guys, make sure you're checking out Kensie's stuff. She's on Twitter. She's on Instagram. She's on Facebook, YouTube. And, of course, her webpage is KensieCoppin.com. I'll spell that out again for everybody. It's KensieCoppin. And if you want to follow along with the ETX Rock Show, you're listening for the first time, you guys can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ETX Rocks. We're on iTunes and Google Play and YouTube, and just get onto the Tuned In app, which is your home for internet radio. And you can listen to 177 episodes now completely free of charge. You can binge watch. You can ETX Rocks and chill. So as we always say on this show, we want to thank you guys out there for supporting live music. And don't ever forget,
ETX Rock!
All right, guys, so that was a lot of fun talking with Kensie Coppin. It was hard not to fangirl that much. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Kensie, and I especially want to thank Krista Kay, Kensie's manager, as well as Kensie for taking time out of her busy schedule to talk with us on the show this week. It was a lot of fun getting to know Kensie and talking about what makes her tick, especially with the traditional country sound that she has going on. And as we promised earlier in the episode, we're really, really excited to feature her next single, which is called Lie to Me. Y'all check it out right here. It's Kensie Coppin, Lie to Me.
You say you're just being honest, but it's just what's on your mind. Too close to commitment, too close to being alone tonight. You want to have some new time. I just want to feel your touch. If you're being forthcoming, well, for me it's just too much. Lie to me. No, I don't want to hear what you felt as it used to be. Cry tonight. Your selfish heart, that's what it does to me. Your pride has worn me weary, but I still stand with open arms. You crawl, you run, you beg, but I can't handle deceptive charm. If you walk alone, I follow. I make sure to catch every tear. So say that you want me. That's what I need to hear. Lie to me. I don't want to hear what you felt as it used to be. Cry tonight. Your selfish heart, that's what it does to me. Cry to me. I don't want to hear what you felt as it used to be. Lie tonight. Your selfish heart, that's what it does to me. If I don't see you at my door, you don't want this anymore. Lie to me.
guys, I'm Katie Lynn, and make sure to tune in to ETX Rocks with
Boston Chris.
This is Aaron Watson, ETX Rocks.
ETX Rocks, Alan Fox Band.
Hey guys, we're the Morning Madhouse. I'm Carter.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Ginger.
It's the best podcast ever made in all of history.
Hi, this is Paul Bebo, and I ETX Rocks with Boston Chris Barnes. You're gonna love it.
ETX Rocks.
Hey, East Texas, DP here. ETX Rocks.
Hey, East Texas, we're Enduring House, a Christian rock band.
ETX Rocks!
Hey, this is Monty Pittman from ETX Rocks.
Hey, East Texas, Jaden Farnsworth, ETX Rocks.
Hey, everybody, I'm David McCarty with the Gypsy Creek Band. As always, ETX Rocks.
Hey guys, this is Chris Colston. Thanks for tuning in to the ETX ROCKS Show.
To the ETX ROCKS Show.
The ETX ROCKS Show.
Ho! Hey folks, I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and I just want to make sure you support local music.
Hi, East Texas, this is Chris Wayne.
And Crystal Clark with KYKX 1057. ETX Rocks!
Hey, East Texas, we're Lady Chaz and the Tramps. And just remember, ETX Rocks.
Hey, this is Tom Freeman of ETX Rocks with Boston Chris.
Hey, East Texas, I'm Waylon Hicks. And remember, ETX Rocks.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is the one and only SP and Mexicano con Estilo. Make sure to support your local music, and ETX Rocks.
Hello, we're one way home.
Hey, East Texas, this is Teaser.
Please continue to support local music.
And always remember, ETX Rocks!
Howdy, folks. This is Aaron Watson. Support local music, and ETX Rocks.
Hey, this is Chris Colston, and make sure you support local music
and ETX Rocks.
Hey, this is Hannah Kirby. Thanks for tuning in to the ETX ROCKS Show.
Tough guy, ho!
Covering music-related content of all genres. If it filters through Eastern Texas, it's fair game. Y'all bring it. From Texarkana down to the coast and Dallas down to Houston and everything in between. We are ETX Rocks!